In this video series, we're going to look at how to use Microsoft Excel in order to create tables and graphs so that we can obviously analyze data. So we'll start with the very basics for those that are completely new. So I guess the first thing we need to do is open Excel. So I'm just going to do that through my start menu, start searching, and it tells me Excel is the best match. And when I open it, it gives me the option to create a new blank workbook, which I am certainly going to do. So when you open Excel, and assuming you've got a decently sized screen like myself, you'll see along the top you've got the menu with all the different options. So by default, the Home tab is selected, and you've got your cut, copy, paste options, your font, so how your text looks, the alignment of the text within the cell, and then some other ones which we'll probably look at some throughout. And then obviously you've got other menu items like inserting, so you can insert different elements into your spreadsheet. You can actually draw on your spreadsheet, and then some other stuff around page layout, formulas, which we will look at in a future video, and some other options. But I guess for now, the first thing we want to do whenever we create a new file is we want to save it straight away. So we click on File, we click on Save. It'll try and ask us where to save. Probably the best way to go about it is to click the Browse button down the left here. All right, and then we just navigate to somewhere where we want to save it. And my mouse is having a meltdown. So 2024 year 8, because this is for year 8. And I've already created one, but I'll create another one called budget.excel. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to replace that. And we're going to work on this one. All right, so I guess the first thing we need to do with any spreadsheet is we need to add our data in. So we've already given you the data to add in. You'll notice that the table in QLearn includes columns A, B, and C, and then rows 1 through to, I think it's 20 at the bottom. Doesn't appear all on one on my screen. Yep, 20. All right, so it just helps give you a guide of where you should be typing these things in. And this is going to matter more so when we start looking at formulas. All right, oh, hang on, made a little mistake there. It's okay to make mistakes. We just move on. All right, so event budget in cell A1, expense in cell A3. All right, venue hire. So you'll notice that even though it's all written for me in the QLearn course, I am still typing. All right, similar to when we talked about our websites and web pages, you know, it helps us if we spend more time interacting with it to learn how it works. So for that reason, I am going through and typing it all out. So there's a little tricky one there. You'll see A10 looks like it's on 2 lines, but it is all in that cell. So just be mindful of that. Then income, and I just need to scroll down on my notes because I don't remember what all the income bits were. All right, so we've got ticket price, space, number of guests, 10 guests, 20 guests, 50 guests, 100, and finally 200 of them. All right, if we go back up, so we'll look at column B next. Venue hire 500, 600, 200, 400, 100, 200. All right, you might notice as well as we're typing in some of these numbers, it is chopping off the words. I will show you how to adjust that in just a moment. Again, we scroll down. Oh, so there's nothing else in there just yet. Oh, actually, there is, sorry. Total income and total profit. Okay, so as I said, you'll notice as you type some of these in that they cut off the previous columns because they're too long. So to adjust the size of the column, you'll see if I hover the mouse between column A and column B, we get this little cross-looking cursor with arrows pointing left and right. If we click and drag that, it allows us to adjust the width of our columns. So we can make them nice and big so we can see everything. All right, I guess another little technique that is a nice shortcut if you want it to be, big enough, but you don't want a lot of extra space. If you hover in between, again, column A and B, for example, and double click, it will automatically adjust the column to the correct width so that you can see everything. So if I do that for column B and column C, all right, it fits those headings in nicely, but doesn't have a whole heap of unnecessary white space. Once you've done that, make sure you press Control S, or alternatively, go File and Save to make sure your work is saved. There's nothing worse than losing data entry work that you've done because it is super tedious, but it is necessary in order for us to go ahead and analyze that data. So in the next video, we'll look at how we use formulas to calculate things like total expenses and total incomes.